Hey guys, I got some bad news the other day about my brokerage account, and I was a little bit unhappy about this. We have a lot of guys on here that have brokerage accounts, okay, and some of them get away with having it, some of them don't, and I'm gonna tell you the problem, okay, and what happened with me. Now, for me, I like getting the benefits of living as an expat. I don't like paying state taxes in states that I don't live in and I don't get any benefits from, okay? So when I moved over here, what I did was I called up the company that I deal with, which is TD Ameritrade, and I asked TD Ameritrade, I says, "Listen, I says, I don't want to pay taxes. I'm going to be living over here. Is it okay that I live over here, number one? And am I going to have any problems?" And they said, "No, you'll have no problems." Well, at some point, the Philippines became restricted, okay? Because I ask all the questions every time I deal with these companies. And a lot of people have said that also Charles Schwab and a lot of these other companies, oh, they're they won't close you out or whatever. Well, if you have a brokerage account and you shut off your taxes to a state, and you change your address to here, but you have a U.S. Mailing address over there, they had told me I would be fine. Well, guess what? They said now they basically froze my account. All I can do is trade out of it. That's all I can do. I can only trade out. I can't trade in anymore. So whatever stocks I have, I can hold them and I can sell them later on. And there might come a point when I talked to the guy, he said that they might sell your stocks and just close out your account totally. And the funny thing is, I've been with them since they were Scottrade, because they became Scottrade, Ameritrade, TD Ameritrade. Like, I've been there for all their switches and stuff like that. Now they're Charles Schwab, but they haven't changed the name yet. Okay, so I'm not really into the Charles Schwab thing, but I am because it's owned by Charles Schwab. Well, here's the thing. Charles Schwab, if you have some accounts with them, I believe you can still have them, like a checking account or a savings account or any of those type of accounts you can have. But the second you have a brokerage account, guess what? You're in trouble, because now they're going to start shutting these down, I guess, like they did with me. Now, I called them last night and I spoke with them. Okay, and as I spoke with them, I'm talking to the guy over there, and I'm telling the guy, I says, "Listen," I says, "is there anything I can do to save this account?" And the guy's like, "Let me check." We were on the phone probably for about 45 minutes, and guess what? He said, I asked him, I says, can I switch over to Charles Schwab? Because I says, I've heard over here that everybody over here, and there's a lot of people over here. I says, is there any way that I can just switch over? I says, the rule's different. He says, yeah, they probably are. He says, well, let me call up over to the other side and I'll find out. Well, guess what? He called up over to the other side and he says that, Steve, he says, all the rules that are with Charles Schwab are now also with TD Ameritrade. And he says, we checked on the Charles Schwab side. He says, we're restricted in the Philippines. He says, as is TD Ameritrade now. He says, I don't know how long it's been like that, but he says, apparently when you opened it, he says, you were very upfront with them. He says, you put your address in the Philippines, but he says, you put your mailing address in the U.S. You notified us that you're a U.S. citizen. You have a social security number, but under our rules, we cannot let you trade in the Philippines unless we had some sort of, if we had like TD Ameritrade in the Philippines, or we had Charles Schwab in the Philippines, we might do that. He says, I know we do it in some other countries. He says, but guess what? We don't where you are. So that's the problem. I says, wow. So I says, so what's the deal? He repeated himself again. He says, you can keep the money in the account. Eventually they might try to shut you down. He says, as of yet, they're not. He says, but it does says as of December 6th, he says that your account is pretty much frozen from taking any incoming trades or anything like that. And he says, that's it. So I was like, wow, this is really different. Now I can't trade stocks over here in the Philippines anymore. And I doubt any other companies will let me either. Now, the Charles Schwab checking account, according to him, he says that's not what this is about. He says they will not shut off those people, okay? He says, as far as I know, So I talked to like 2 people about this. So this is just about the brokerage account. The other account, I guess it's okay. I'm not sure. You may want to call and check on your account to see if you're okay. I think if you go back and forth and you spend more time in the United States, you'll be okay. Okay, but if you're living over here, you're not paying state taxes. I think that's where they pick it up. They're picking it up somewhere, and I asked him what flagged my account, and he says it could be that you're, you know, when you log in on the computer, it could be that. It could be the fact now that your address, he says your address was changed. He says maybe because all of a sudden, you know, and he's a new guy there. He was the first guy I spoke with, and I spoke with a second guy to ask more questions. He said that it could be that if the fact that you don't have state taxes. So I was like, wow, this really is a bummer. I said, I really love trading stocks, and I like, you know, I enjoy doing it, and now I can't do it. So he said that, he says, yeah, he says, so I says, there's no way I can do anything with this. And he checked with probably like about 3 people while I was on the phone, trying to do everything that we could do to try to get this, you know, still working. The good thing is I still own my stocks. Okay, that's the good part. The bad part is, guess what? I can't trade stocks anymore. Once I trade out, I can't buy anymore. I'm done, pretty much done, and that's the sad part. I could probably do it in the Philippines if I wanted to. I could probably open an account over here through some company or whatever. I don't think you'd get the benefits that you do back home, where you get the free trades, things like that. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to look into this and do a little bit more homework on that. But I want to notify you guys because we have a lot of guys out there that are TD Ameritrade, Charles Schwab. You may want to look into this because your account could get flagged too, like mine did. And if your account gets flagged, then you're pretty much not going to be trading anymore. Okay, guys, I just want to let people know out there that, you know, there are some concerns now. We are starting to see some things change, and this may have been something that just changed recently under this current administration, because before I was able to do this. I've been doing this now for over 4 years. So I'm not sure what to do at this point, but I'm going to look into it more, and if I find out any more of how I can fix this or how I can trade over here, I'll let you guys know. But be sure to check your accounts, because they're looking, okay? And they found out somehow, either it was through, like I said, either through my trading online and not using a VPN, or they just noticed the address that it's in the Philippines or whatever. But they don't know how long I stay here and there. They have no clue. So I'm going off the fact that it might have been the address, but they okayed that, which is really strange. They said, yes, that's fine. We're okay with that, because I told them I didn't want to pay taxes in the United States when I don't have to pay taxes, because I live over here the majority of the time. That could have been it 4 years ago. They probably put that in there. Anyway, guys, God bless. Take care. I hope that helps you guys.